punished for not waiting a turn. Super punished for not waiting a turn. Holy. Do I want to turn my demon into 2 cards? I don't think so. It's like a demon copy demon angle the way this is lined up so far. Now we'll copy Victoria. T says, thank you for the 14 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. This gives me a Frigga back to hand, yeah? What do we think of Victoria, Frigga, Victoria? And then next turn I have... I think it's this. Hopefully I just don't full clog us on the left next turn. Nice. Yeah, the opponent's archetype often struggles to just get numbers into places. Rather than anti-venom, I should actually Lady Deathstrike here, yeah? Because she gets rid of the debris. Yeah, so Victoria Deathstrike would be our final turn. And then we'd end up at 19 and 19 in each of these, which they're not likely to be able to contest on top of fighting over here. What are the meta decks at the moment? You can check out my weekly decks roundup from Sunday on the Hooglandia Snap channel. Looking for Snap meta decks. This is 7 currently.
All systems go.
What is Firehair's text box? Firehair re-triggers an on-reveal effect of one of your cards when your card gets destroyed. So lets you kind of triple up with Misery or double up with Lady Deathstrike. Yeah, Victorian Defriga sounds lovely. Iron Patriot's been kinda eh. I might swap him out for Mirage, honestly. He's been feeling kinda whatever so far. I don't love the way he forces me to play to the board in a particular way. I think I might Misery the Frigga. Because if I Misery the Frigga, I can go Frigga Victoria next turn. Unfortunately, Misery is not replaceable inside of Firehair decks. She's a must-have. Yeah, I get Mr. Negative. Speaking of Barrage, is an excellent use case for Mr. Negative matchup's an excellent use case for Barrage, yeah? You get to grab one of their negative cards out. No, this deck list is not remotely budget friendly. Basically, every narrow specific card inside of it needs to be what it is. They're all filling pretty specific roles. One card. They kegging me? Okay, weak step. Yeah, I'll swap this Iron Patriot for a Mirage, I think. Deck's been okay so far, but I think that swap out makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of Mr. Negative decks that are playing Killmonger and Rogue and Shang-Chi. Is the unfortunate reality of our current metagame. me snap the TVA. So I'm gonna Frigga copy Victoria, and then we'll put cloned Victorias into Bar Sinister, and we'll put a demon somewhere else to play for all three relatively solidly. I mean, oh, come on. This actually didn't matter until Luke Spar flipped up as the last one. I need a grapple arrow.
Have that.
This wins the game. This wins the game. Says local man about to be Enchantress in the center. Nope, that'll do it though. Rip. Luke Spar. Hasn't even really been tech cards this morning. It's just like every time there's a 1 in 200 that could not break our way, it's not broken our way. All right. We're in a okay spot. We'll have 2 demons next turn, thanks to Misery and Firehair here. Dodge a Killmonger, we can dodge a ball. Assuredly, they're not playing Killmonger in their Cape Bishop deck, right? Assuredly. Assuredly, they don't play the tech card that kills them too, says increasingly nervous man for the third time this week. Okay, so I'm getting an extra 3 here up to 19, but I still need a demon here, I think. And then drawing a 2 is lovely. I'm surprised they felt safe on the right at 24. Given that I just made 2 demons. Hood into a demon is always a good time. Sometimes lucky, rubber ducky. Anything good for us? Sinister London's pretty mediocre for us. I don't think I can stay for a step regardless. They're probably a Killmonger deck into all my demons. It's so weird how your visible rank on the client side gets desunk from what's going on the server side, and they lag behind a game or two frequently. Aeroship opponent, saying that for my benefit as well as yours at home. Hey, thanks for the almost 6 years, Scissor. Welcome back. I'll hold on to this one for now. We'll go anti-venom next turn into where the basic arrow is, then we'll misery here the following turn. I think is the plan. I commit to this. I commit to this. Alright, so they're punting the center. Kinda. Good for Luke Cage top deck, so our death strikes can be big. Yeah, just did, unfortunately. Victoria would have been a killer draw too, because it would have put us up to 23 over here. My brain has a hard time remembering with decks like this one that Nico turning something into a demon doesn't get a Victoria buff. Yeah, I feel like I need an easier way to reference that when they're on the board. It gets me sometimes too. Demon discrimination. Not having to deal with another Lamaria is nice. So we'll do this, and then next turn we Frigga Victoria again. Even if they block the acid arrow in on the left, it'll end up being 4 points for us with the third Victoria hand hitting the board, so. And when they don't block it in, they're in a very bad spot. I'm getting 3 off of this up to 11. I'm getting 2 off of this up to 13. They have no ongoings here. I'm gaining 2 more in the middle up to 12. They're losing 5 if they play something here. I'm going up to 10 and 9. So I'm getting 9, 12. I'm getting 14 over here up to 26. Is this beating Blue Marvel over here? That's a good question. I'm gaining 5, 7. I'm going up to 15 here. Yeah. Cool.
Victory.
All right, we can take a brief pause for the cause, let some adverts roll. It's almost noon here, cornfield time, so I'm gonna run upstairs and grab my lunch. This one's been all right, so we're gonna play some more of it when we get back. Finally hitting a good stride after a tough start to the day. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. Get to enjoy some delicious tomatoes for lunch. That will soon be 21% more expensive thanks to Daddy Trump's latest tariff tantrum. Or maybe they'll be 100% more expensive, or maybe they'll be 0% more expensive. It'll just depend on how he's feeling next week, really. Thirsty Brett, thank you for the over 2 years. Welcome back. Hey, Will, thank you for over 2 years. Welcome back. Misery. Well, we might get 2 copies of their negative cards, so I'm gonna be greedy and stay here. Unlucky. God, there's so many tech cards in these negative decks. Holy. What is even happening? How do you stay? They must have had multiple things the Mirage could have gotten, yeah? It's the only explanation? Or they just like forgot. Maybe they looked away while I played my cards out and they didn't see Mirage get destroyed. All right, whatever. We take those. Yeah, I don't think there's anything Mirage could take that I would play over just playing Misery on the last turn, so I played Firehair to take the Monster Metropolis. Because Victoria is not actually that much on this board because one of these demons, it wasn't created in my hand. Do I need to draw other cards this game? I don't think so, yeah. Do I need to play around Shang in this matchup? Narrator. He was playing Marvel Snap, so he always needed to play around Shang. Yeah, they look like the Kitty Pride deck that doesn't usually have it. Yeah, like Red Guardian and Juggernaut. I think are the output ranges I'm concerned with.
Escaped.
If I would have Victoria handed here instead of this, I would have had 3 13s and then a 3, which would have tied 42. Yeah, stage would end up smaller as well. Just decided to be afraid of Shang and died because of it. This is fun. It's a very good start for them. Am I getting rid of the Death's Domain? I can't decide. I can make that choice next turn. So, Firehair doesn't trigger anymore. Well, I mean, that's the best draw in my deck, yeah? Like, good enough to stay? So, my Sage ends up being, their Sage would be 2, 4, 6 as a 6. And then if I do this, my Demon is an 8. And then my Sage is, yeah, this beats their Sage of the center, right? I think. Math? I don't know. Havoc. Havoc might get us, question mark? Cool. What is the narrator bit reference? The narrator bit is a reference to the common movie trope where the main character is being upbeat about something audibly, and then the narrator is talking about how they're just absolutely about to get shit on. Gosh! Iceman is so brutal here. So they're stepping. We played against them. They were playing Bounce earlier. And I think we're just supposed to go. We could contest the Raft, but I think this matchup's not very good for us. I think the number one thing that Pokemon Pocket really made me appreciate or recognize is that there really aren't a lot of people that play Marvel Snap. I don't think I've ever gotten repaired in a Pokemon Pocket session. At least not noticeably. I'm sure maybe it's happened once in all the hours I've played over 6 months, but man, the repairs in Marvel Snap are just constant on the ladder. So they expanded the matchmaking in Marvel Snap at one point, but it's still not fully global. We'll snap the Clintar on their Morbius here. So we're going to have a good amount of points in the center. We're at 18. I'm going to gain another 8 from copies of Victoria. Stat matchmaking being region locked is so bizarre. I believe, and this is I don't have a first-hand source on this, so maybe take it with a grain of salt. If anybody else has a first-hand source or has also heard the same, feel free to chime in. But I believe, in terms of scalability, Snap leverages AWS for their servers in some way, shape, or form, and AWS servers are regional. Anybody else? I vaguely remember hearing something along those lines. Anybody else? Confirm or deny? It is also 100% based off of the region you signed up in. I'm not saying it's impossible to make it global. I'm just saying I recall that being one of the hurdles they mentioned having to overcome. This was an ambitious day from our opponent.
Victory.
Just as a general rule of thumb, for people who aren't in software development, something that is incredibly true in every single code base is you should never assume something is easy to do if you haven't looked at the code yourself. It's very common that you'll hear people who aren't software developers will be like, well, that should be really easy to do. Why hasn't that happened yet? And it's just like, well, sometimes the thing where you'd be like, in a lot of instances, this would be really easy, but in our particular specific instance, we have the legacy code that Ted wrote a decade ago, and Ted's no longer here, and we're gonna be honest, Ted didn't even really understand it when he finished it, but it worked, so we shipped it, and we weren't gonna not ship it because it was working at the time. Stop hurting me like this. As someone who's inherited a lot of code over the years, you're preaching the absolute truth. Yeah, the worst... Listen, the worst code to work in is something that someone else wrote. And then the other thing that's eminently true about software is that even if it's code that you wrote, if you wrote it long enough ago, it's also code that someone else wrote.
Minions to me.
What's the saying? Only 2 people knew how this code worked, myself and God, and now only God knows. It's the most dangerous words a programmer can utter. My code's self-documenting. It doesn't need comments. These variable names and functions are so descriptive. Why would I ever need a comment? Looks at own code, sees to do, add comments, close code. Oh, we're not a Shang Jack, which means we're automatically not favored into Gamma Lab, which is sad. For people, I talk about my math and other gaming background a good bit, but I spent time doing, let's call it hobbyist software development during undergrad and grad school, and then did some process automation at a large company after grad school for a little while. There's a bunch of now defunct projects of mine up on GitHub. Oh, I think I'm just gonna go full gamma, chat. I think I'm just gonna go full gamma. Surely the Makari Brood deck doesn't run Shang. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Oh, this is super sad because this is Mindscape. I can't play Hood. Like, I'd have had a super sick Firehair Hood, Deathstrike, get another demon line here, but stupid location variance means I don't. Oh gosh, and the fact that I might actually not even get this Lady Deathstrike off, because if they have Surfer, they're gonna play it this turn, right? Okay, so probably good to go then. And then if I do this, I have 8, 10, 12 in the center, which means I beat Shang-Chi here, plus a small thing here. Oh yeah, what's Copycat? Misery, nope. Cool.
Victory.
Coolio. We've gained back almost all of the snap points we lost trying to play games with Kohori today. Man, they're gonna have to buff so many cards from this season. It's actually wild. Or they could just, like, pull a Fastos and let them rot for forever. We'll see. They released cards this season. What's his name? Goliath is a card. That's true. Unironically, the fact that you can't fall out of Infinite is such a huge saving grace compared to how frustrating Pokemon Pocket's rank system is. Like, the fact that I can, like, at least experiment here and, like, not get punched back into a different ranking is much appreciated. Oh, it's so annoying. The big house means I can't Lady Deathstrike the Mobius to unlock my anti-venom card. I think Goliath is the only card that's remotely playable that's released so far this season. Yeah, when you hit the highest rank in Pocket, it's optimal to just stop playing. It's a really... Unironically, Pokemon Pocket has the worst design ranked ladder I've ever experienced in a digital card game. It feels like they completely phoned it in and didn't look at any other systems and take any other lessons learned from any other card games. Yeah, all of the indie card games are about to have a real bad time, Queenie. A lot of... Basically, all indie game developers that make physical games are about to get absolutely and brutally destroyed inside of this nonsense tariff stuff. Yeah, already starting, for sure. After turn 4, the winner here gets +1 max energy. Okay. This is a fun location. I really like this location design. I haven't played with this one yet. I think I want to get Firehair down rather than get cash in the demon. Do I just do this now? Because then this supercharges Misery, yeah? I probably win the Scar Grand Prix. Was that one of the feature locations recently? Yeah, probably. When the location is new, they feature it. Yeah, like, I know the stock market had its bounce back after all the tariffs, like, put it off one of the worst drops of all time, but, like, it really can't emphasize enough for people that haven't been following closely how much the ripple effects of all of Trump's economic nonsense haven't even really begun to be felt by most people yet. Speaking from my personal experience, I've lost low 4 figures in advertising income already as a direct result of these tariffs. My manager, who manages a dozen or so people, is into the 5 figures and how much he has lost in revenue. All of these small companies with that make indie games, they're all about to have a real bad time. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. Thanks for the demon gamer. What a giver. Yeah, trust in America as a trade partner is eroded probably for my lifetime, realistically. Do we save Lady Deathstrike for a turn? Maybe? I don't know. I kind of want the ability to Frigga Victoria next turn. I think I want the ability to Frigga Victoria next turn. It's maybe a little greedy, but... We also, even not counting the tariffs, like, I think a lot of people don't realize the broad economic impact that Doge cutting a whole bunch of stuff is going to have on the US economy. Like Doge is cutting a lot of jobs. Like just the amount of cuts from Doge in the government alone is just like going to be a large amount of people losing work and then severing contracts with third-party companies as well. So I filled both of these to hopefully avoid getting clogged in them. Are we being ghosted? That feels so spooky. That plays terrible, right? I don't know. Probably not, but man, that's such a weird line. They were already locked in, so probably not. And I assume we're dead here. Are they shaking us on the right? Would I have won if I didn't play the Victoria? Yeah, I'm gonna win if I didn't play the Victoria. Yeah, what it should. Oh, no, wait. We win the breaker? Ah, we win the breaker. Sometimes lucky. I'm so bitter, chat. I won this game and I feel bitter. Yeah, that's the other one. The Andrew Yang tweet that went viral really highlights everything about how dumb the average person is. And for people that don't follow, Yang posted just, pointing out the factual that, like, if the markets lose 10% and then they gain 10% back, everybody who was in the markets at that point still isn't back to even, because losing 10% of 100 and then gaining 10% of 90 is not the same number. And there were just a giant pile of comments of people who just didn't remotely understand that that's how very basic mathematics works. Snap-on having drawn the acid arrow. We're still having to explain other countries don't pay tariffs, consumers do. Yeah, it's true. Oh, that's actually super unfortunate, because I was hoping to misery this lane. This gives me 2 demons, right? Because these 2 trigger before we get to Mirage. So I think this is the line. It's an unfortunate beat. Two Havocs is much worse. guess we're dead. I guess I could draw Luke. Victoria is 7 over here, which puts me to 10, which ties Theta. Do we need Luke for Demon to win the throne room? Luke just gives me points everywhere else, right? No, but I guess we don't. This would be 18. Maybe 5. Yeah, is it this actually? I think it's this actually. That's close. Luke is definitely here to steal my cubes and talk me into staying. I'm gonna get saged on the left. Actually ended up being really close. This is a gaming stream, not a political stream. Fuck you, get out of my chat. Because I know when I talk about how I'm personally being injured and this government's doing terrible things, and someone says this isn't a politics stream, I know who you are. Sorry that someone interrupted your superhero card game to remind you that the fascist you voted for is ruining people's lives. Apologies that that's inconvenient for you. It's also really inconvenient for all the people that are losing their jobs and the citizens who are being deported and all the other terrible shit that's going on. Ooh, that's a piece of candy. I guess the timing's a little awkward here. Oh, it's so close. Alright, I assume this game, much like the United States, is cooked. I was gonna go to the next one.
Escaped.
I don't like to end on a loss usually in a deck I like, but we been playing this one for a while. It was fine. I think we ran a little below average at several points. Where'd we finish up? How bad was it? This is on a low bar. I think this was the best thing we've played today. I don't think I have any card changes. Maybe the barrage was unnecessary. I didn't feel like I struggled to have Victoria hand targets.